Strap into your seats and get ready. It's time for the Mortarpod.
Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. Welcome to this week's episode of the Mortarpod, your weekly video podcast for custom Magic the Gathering sets. And this week is no exception, of course. We've got a brand new movie for you, a big Spielberg blockbuster, huge film. In fact, there's a new one coming out. Let's see if you've got it yet. Yes, that's right, the original Jurassic Park. So, awesome movie when it came out. I've heard it holds up well. In fact, I can't really verify that because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I guess from what I've heard, the dinosaurs, maybe a few of those scenes look a little bit hokey. Just to go off on a slight tangent, ever since movies started coming out in HD and they were filmed, pre-HD, some of the problems you run into are seeing more hokey-looking stuff that didn't look hokey before they cleaned it up to HD quality. So occasionally you'll run into a film like I saw Batman 2 in HD, and there was a lot of scenes where it's like, whoa, they really budgeted the wardrobe in this scene. So sometimes you can just sort of tell stuff looks really tacky and cheesy once it's put into HD that they totally missed in editing when it wasn't in HD. So I love Jurassic Park. Great movie. A little concerned about Jurassic World. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm still on the fence. I do like Chris Pratt. He's a cool guy. He's funny. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing yet with this weird little hybrid dinosaur thing. You'd think they would have learned their lesson after 3 previous Jurassic Parks. It's kind of like the Taken thing with Liam Neeson. First, his daughter gets taken, then his wife gets taken, then they make it Taken 3. Who gets taken in that one? Does he get taken in that one? I don't even know. Too many Takens, probably too many Jurassic Parks. But let's go back to the beautiful original Jurassic Park, and let's start it off with Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill. And he's an archaeologist. He doesn't like kids, but he's a really sharp guy, and he knows plenty about dinosaurs. So I should briefly introduce how dinosaurs have to work in Magic, unfortunately, because it is kind of strange. So originally I just wanted to use the dinosaur creature type, because there is an actual unglued creature named Old Fogey who is a dinosaur. His creature type is straight up dinosaur. And there's an old school card, I believe it's Allosaurus from Ice Age, and that might not be the name, but it might contain Allosaurus somewhere in there, who was originally printed as a dinosaur creature, but has since been errated to a lizard creature. So what's strange about that is, why wouldn't they errata Old Fogey? I think it has to do something with Old Fogey has dinosaur in his actual, the text of the card for one of his abilities. I think it's like bands with other dinosaurs. So I guess they decided to keep him the same, but they did errata Allosaurus to lizard. The unusual thing about that is dinosaurs actually aren't lizards. They're reptiles. I had to look this up. Someone commented on that, and I had to verify. So I looked up the creature type wiki for lizards, and indeed, dinosaurs are lumped under lizard now. So all of the dinosaurs contained in this set are now lizards, and everything referring to them will be referring to lizards. So there's your little brief intro to why dinosaurs are lizard creatures in Magic. So Alan Grant is 1 colorless, a white, and a blue. He's a 2/3 legendary human advisor creature. He's a rare. And he has, whenever a human creature you control blocks or becomes blocked by a lizard creature, you may remove the human creature from combat. So protects your humans from those pesky dinosaur creatures. He has a few times in the movie where he saves the children so they don't get hurt. And overall, he would probably be a pretty good rare to have in a limited format. Protects you from all those dinosaurs, gives you some good blocks. And it even works on himself, so pretty convenient. Next, we have Ellie Sattler, played by Laura Dern. And she's also, why did I say archaeologist? It's anthropologist. Yeah, studying the old animals, the old prehistoric animals, the beasts. And Ellie Sattler is also one, and it's Alan Grant's girlfriend. So she is two colorless, a green and a white for a 1/4 legendary human advisor creature. And she has tap, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target lizard creature you control this turn. If damage is prevented this way, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So this would be a great card in this set, and this is definitely referring to the scene in the movie where Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler go out to help that Triceratops that's eaten something that's sort of toxic to it and it's sick. So she helps to make the dinosaur better. So she's kind of like a doctor for the dinosaurs, and you get high rewards if you protect them, prevent the damage. Okay, so next we have Nedry's Deception. So Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight from Seinfeld, of course, Newman, and he plays an interesting role. He works at Jurassic Park as sort of just like a tech guy there, but he's been hired by a separate corporation to steal dinosaur embryos and sell them to this other corporation so they can have their own dinosaur park, I assume. And so Dennis Nedry, definitely the bad guy in the film, and instead of giving him his own creature card, I just gave him a sorcery card that sort of portrays what he does in the movie. So Nedry's Deception is 3 colorless, a blue and a black. It's a sorcery. It's an uncommon. And it's gain control of target lizard creature. Its controller discards a card. And this effect lasts indefinitely. So it's like a mind control for lizards only. And instead of being an enchantment so they can get their guy back, it's just straight up you steal it and they don't get it back. So this is pretty unusual that you would have a sorcery that gives a permanent indefinite effect like this, but I didn't want it to be an enchantment because it's so... I didn't want it to be vulnerable to removal because it's such a specific creature type that it can target. Obviously, this card would be fantastic in Limited, since the dinosaur creatures are the strongest creatures in the set, in the little mini set. Okay, so moving on, we have the actual Jurassic Park card, which is a legendary land. It's a mythic. It enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for red and green mana, which you'll see is the dinosaur colors of the set. And it also has, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on each lizard creature token you control. And then it has an activated ability of 1 colorless, a red and a green, tap. Put a 0/1 white egg creature token with Defender onto the battlefield with, when this creature dies, put a 1/1 red and green lizard creature token onto the battlefield. So maybe a bit confusing, but I'll sum up kind of what it does. You're spitting out little eggs, and they're blockers for you. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, the lizards that hatch from those eggs get bigger because they're growing inside of the park. So maybe it takes a little bit of time to build up, but overall, very powerful, I would say, since you can essentially make some huge lizards. This would be kind of a cool... It's not in control colors, which makes it a little bit more difficult to play, but it's very good defense against board wipe situations, because if they wipe your board full of eggs, you're getting a bunch of lizards that are constantly getting bigger. So I actually think this is a really strong card. Okay, next we have the first of many dinosaurs. We have Brachiosaurus, and a couple of people commented that they thought this card was overpowered, but I actually don't think it is. So it's a common. It's 2 colorless and 2 green for a 2/7 lizard creature with Primal Pack, which is the mechanic of the set. And Primal Pack is, when this creature enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with the same name as this creature and reveal it. Shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. So unlike Squadron Hawks that just straight up put as many Squadron Hawks as you have in your deck into your hand as you want, this a little bit less powerful, but the upside is you get a much more powerful card, essentially, because if you draft multiple Brachiosauruses, you have some good defenders to lock down the board. Or clog it up with the high toughness. So a couple people said they thought this card was overpowered, but I would like to compare it to like Garrick's Companion. So let's compare it to Garrick's Companion. Garrick's Companion is 2 green for a 3/2 trampler. So for 2 green mana, you get 5 combined power and toughness, and an ability. With this card, you pay 4 mana, you get 9 combined power and toughness, and you get an ability. So I would like to compare it to that. I think green do get overall more powerful creatures. I also want to add that I think creatures are, well, first and foremost, in green, you should just be allowed to sort of go a little bit overboard, I think, on power and toughness because green have the best creatures. But more importantly, I think high power to low cost ratios are much more easily breakable than high toughness to low cost ratios, if that makes sense. So though it's kind of a relatively low casting cost, because only the toughness is high, I actually don't think this card is broken or overpowered even. It's just a big blocker that can attack. 2/7 is certainly not broken, I don't think. But I'd be happy to hear more arguments against that. I definitely wanted the dinosaur creatures to be very impressive and strong since they're such big, big creatures. Next, we have Malcolm's Chaos Theory, kind of a iconic scene in the movie. Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, is sort of explaining his chaos theory to Ellie in front of Grant and kind of making him jealous because it's a little bit flirtatious. But his chaos theory is sort of saying trying to control for all the variables of this. His chaos theory in relation to Jurassic Park itself is trying to control all of these dinosaurs. The more you have, the more you come into contact with and try to control, the more chaotic the outcomes and variables become. So I kind of wanted to portray that with the card, and Malcolm's Chaos Theory is a rare sorcery. It's 4 colorless, a red and a green. Choose an opponent at random. You and that player each look at the top 10 cards of your libraries and choose a creature card from among them. Each player puts the chosen card onto the battlefield. Those creatures fight each other. Then put the rest of the cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So each player puts a creature out. They fight each other, and may the best creature win, essentially. So it's sort of like a summoning trap in a little bit, in one respect. And it has creatures fighting because dinosaurs like to fight. So I wanted it to be like each player brings out their biggest dinosaur and they go to town on each other. So that's what that card is showing. And I didn't give Malcolm his own card because I just couldn't come up with a good creature card for him. Okay, moving on, we have Evasive Escape. This is sort of a memorable scene from the movie when Dr. Grant and the 2 children are running from those sort of ostrich-like dinosaurs. And Evasive Escape is a white and a blue instant. It's an uncommon. You can return any number of target creatures you control to their owner's hand, and you get to draw a card for each human creature returned this way. So protects you from removal, but if it also can be used as a card to bounce all your humans for a bunch of card draw. So pretty powerful uncommon, I would say. Next, we have the Velociraptor, which is actually, I remember being a kid and the first Velociraptor skeleton sort of found. I'm pretty sure it was the first Velociraptor. I didn't look that up and verify that, but someone else can. I believe back in the 90s, early 90s was the first time they discovered a Velociraptor skeleton. But don't quote me on that. That's just what I remember from being a kid. So the Velociraptor is 3 colorless, a red and a green. It's a 4/2 first strike haste lizard creature. It's an uncommon, and it also has Primal Pack. So this one of the highest rewards for the Primal Pack. You play the Velociraptor for 5, you get to swing in with a 4-power first striking haste creature, which is already good. But in addition to that, you get to search up another one if you have it in your deck and potentially play that the next turn. So the Velociraptor is sort of the main antagonist dinosaurs in the movie. Very quick, and they strike very fast. I believe Muldoon, who's coming up shortly, says that they can go speeds of like 80 miles per hour or something, which is just absurdly fast. So Velociraptor, very strong uncommon to be sure. Next we have Robert Muldoon, who is sort of an English gentleman hunter who really doesn't like dinosaurs all that much, believe it or not. He's more of like wants to kill them or doesn't believe exactly what the park is doing in terms of trying to control them. He ends up, of course, getting slayed by Velociraptors. But Robert Muldoon is 1 colorless and 2 red for a 3/2 legendary human soldier creature. He's a rare, and he has tap. Robert Muldoon deals 1 damage to target creature. If that creature is a lizard creature, Robert Muldoon deals 2 damage to it instead. So, good dinosaur killer, but because he has a gun, he can also kill humans as well. And his flavor text is, of course, Clever Girl, which is what he says right before he gets pounced on by a Velociraptor and torn apart. Next, we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex, who at first seems like the main antagonist, but actually, spoiler alert, but the movie's old now, so it's not really a spoiler anymore. But the Tyrannosaurus Rex actually saves the humans at the end by picking up the Velociraptors and devouring them before the Velociraptors get a chance to eat the humans. So Tyrannosaurus Rex is, the king of the dinosaurs. And I wanted to have that be on his card. So he's 6 colorless, a red and a green, for a 9/9 rare lizard creature. He has trample and he has protection from lizards. So since he's the king of the dinosaurs, none of the other ones can touch him in terms of dealing damage to him, and he just tears them apart. So very strong card, definitely. And finally, we have I actually don't know how to pronounce this one. Dilophosaurus, something like that. And this is, of course, the pretty little dinosaur that looks cute when you first see it, or when Dennis Nedry first sees it. But soon it fluffs out its neck, spits venom in Dennis's eyes, and ends up killing him. So I definitely had that on this card as well. The Dilophosaurus is 1 colorless, a red and a green, for a 3/2 lizard creature. It's a common. It has Primal Pack, and whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, Dilophosaurus deals 1 damage to that creature. So has the Ashmouth Hound ability from Innistrad, but is a very, very good card, I would say, with Primal Pack, since it can essentially kill a 4 toughness creature with its power plus the triggered ability. So Dilophosaurus, very good. That is it for this week's set. I hope you're enjoying the Fate Reforged drafts. I'm still digging doing them. The format has definitely sped up from what I've seen, but I'm still enjoying it. I just have to change my mentality a little bit when I'm drafting it. Try and build slightly faster decks. And check out my PTQ video. Go to SeemsGoodMagic.com and click on draft videos. I recorded a vlog for the last PTQ I went to. I also had a featured round in round 4, which I also posted at SeemsGoodMagic.com. So just click on draft videos and you should see it there. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you for next week's episode.